today I'm going to talk to you guys about one of my favorite topics in the entire world, and that's sales and learning to love sales, because whether you think you are or not, you are all salespeople. And I'll tell you a story about selling that I love. And I remember the first time I became a salesperson was literally when I was a baby, right? As a baby, think about it. Like, you are selling your folks on how you want them to treat you. You're selling them on like everything that you need in life. You know, you want your bottle, you're selling them on that. And so think about when you're a kid and you want to spend the night at little Johnny's house or little Susie's house, and your mom says no, and then you go and talk to your dad, or your dad says no, then you go talk to your mom. But mom, I really want to go. I've been such a good kid. Da, 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 da. Right? You were selling yourself. You were selling yourself. So sales is not sleazy, all right? Sales is not sleazy. Sales is a skill that you must develop in life. No matter if you work for corporate America, no matter if you're an engineer. I talked to my buddy Joe yesterday, and I'm like, what do you do, Joe? Because I didn't know exactly where he was in his business, and he's an engineer, but he's got to sell to his team to believe what he's doing. So he's selling his idea to his team all the time, right? Because if they don't believe in what he's doing, they're not going to engage with his vision of the project. And then they're not going to fix it. They're not going to finish it. They're going to have delays. Then people are going to get upset, and he's going to be the one who gets yelled at. So sales is a part of life, and sales is something that you have to learn to love. And it's something that you got to learn how to do, right? Just like when you go to the gym, you work out. Like the first time I worked out, my muscles were not very big. Now they're getting a little bit bigger. They're getting stronger. I'm becoming more comfortable in the gym, right? I see the same people in the gym. So now I have like, hey, what's up, buddy? I don't know their names, but at least it's like the fist bump because we suffer together. And so we're learning together. What's up, Raquel? Good morning. Raquel, if you got time, I'd love to bring you on stage, because you guys, Raquel's on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's Coach Vikram Diol. And you should follow Raquel. It's Raquel Q on Instagram as well, because she's a boss lady and she delivers amazing content. And she's an amazing saleswoman because she has a product and service that she loves. And that's where it comes down to. Most people don't like sales for a few reasons. One is they don't love or believe in their product and service. Two, they don't know what to say. Three, they're scared of rejection. Oh, I love it, girl. Get your booty shake on out there. What's up, Xavier? Y'all, these are great people. Follow me on Instagram as well. Don't just follow me on Facebook and just YouTube. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram and vice versa, because I do deliver different content on different platforms. But there's a few reasons why, in my opinion, I believe people don't sell. And the one is they don't believe in their product or service. I'll tell you a quick story. When I sold cars, I loved the cars that I sold. I sold Mercedes-Benzes, right? I loved Mercedes-Benzes. I hated the finance. Right? I knew the minute they got away from me and they got into the finance office, they were going to get sold a bunch of stuff and it was going to suck. And they were going to get ripped off. And then I remember a family came in with a little baby and they spent all their money on this Jeep Wrangler. And I tried to talk them out of the Jeep Wrangler because, you know, at that point, the Jeep was a real big POS, but they bought it anyways. And they had all these issues. And when they took it into service, it was 36 days. So it was 6 days past their warranty. The dealership said, like, we can't do anything because we're going to lose money on it. And these people were all bummed out, and it cost them like $500 to fix their car that they didn't have. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I left, right? I didn't sell a lot of cars because after that experience, I didn't like the process. So I didn't do well there. So if you don't like the service, if you don't like the process, if you're not a full believer, right? So people say, Vikram, you're so enthusiastic, right? Well, I'm going to teach you something. Enthusiasm, the last four letters of enthusiasm are IASM, which means I am sold myself. So are you sold yourself on your product and service? If you're not, you need to flip and you need to switch and you need to do something else. And I'm not saying go quit your job today. I'm not saying walk into your boss's office and say, I quit, right? Don't do that. That's not going to be good for you and your family, but start looking for other places. You got to have to find, my buddy Xavier, who's a 007 graduate with me, says, have to find a way to create a win-win. Yes, sir. See, in life, people think like win-wins are losses. No, Grant Cardone, who is, one of the top salesmen in the world, says the same thing. He's like, I don't want you to win and I lose, and I don't want to have me win and you lose. I want to create so much value that you win and that I win. So my boy Xavier just dropped that in the IG. Y'all should go follow him. But you got to make it a win-win situation, right? So if you don't have a product and service that you love, it's going to be hard to sell it because internally it's snake oil. Or if you do sell it, you're going to be an alcoholic because you're going to have this like internal dialogue that's killing you. So find the product and service that you love, and you might need to go talk to your company. You might need to go talk to your boss and be like, yo, what's up? I'm not loving this service. I'm not loving the way we do this. And it might not be the easiest conversation, but you guys can make the service and product hopefully better. And if you can't, then you got to start looking for something else. Number two, the reason why people don't like selling is people don't know what to say, right? And there are people out there that say scripts are bad, scripts are this, scripts are that. I will tell you that's all BS. There's a small part of the population who can sell without a script, but they all started, in my opinion, my humble opinion, everybody started out selling with scripts and learning how to say things in a proper way. It gives you confidence, right? All a script does is it gives you confidence and it teaches you how to say things and it gives you a framework and a roadmap. Think about it this way. Every movie you watch is scripted. The WWE and the WWF was scripted. All scripts, right? When people get on to do a debate, it's scripted. When people do a TV show, it's scripted. When you get on a phone call, what makes you think that you're better than people who have spent their whole life becoming experts at acting? Like, what makes you think you're better than that? Don't get the ego in the way. Learn to use your script. All right. Always have a script up. Like if you have multiple monitors, like I do, have one screen with the monitor and one screen with your CRM and the notes that you have on the people, but always have your script up. Or better yet, take your scripts, put it into a laminated sheet and have that on your desk, tape it to the mirror, tape it to the wall, learn it, memorize it, use it all the time. So that's the second reason why people don't sell is because they don't know what to say. The third reason why people don't know how to sell or they don't want to learn how to sell is because they don't have objection handlers. All right. So they don't know how to have objection handlers. And one of these days, I'm going to get somebody live on these videos with me, and we're actually going to go through objection handlers. All right. So that's the third reason why people don't sell is they haven't written down their number 1, 2, and 3 objections. If you know your number 1, 2, and 3 objections and you get those down pat, you're not going to have any problem selling because you're not going to get those objections anymore because you'll actually build that into your script. So like 1, 2, and 3 objections that I think most people get is I have to think about it. I have to talk to my spouse, or it's too much money. And sometimes, the funny thing is people say it's too much money. And I'm going to give you guys a little flip on this. Sometimes people say it's too much money, but it's not too much money. It's not that they can't afford the $1 million product. It's that it's too much money for what you're showing them. They don't see the value. Like if somebody said, hey, Vikram, do you want to buy this cup of coffee for $27? I'd say no. No, are you kidding me? $27 for a cup of coffee? Like what's in it? Like there's a steakhouse in Bellevue that I used to go to called John Howie's, and they have this like coffee that literally I think it's like a monkey that eats it or some animal eats it and craps it out. And then they take that coffee bean and then they make it into a coffee and it's $50 a cup. Now I don't need to eat a monkey shit coffee for $50, but I will buy a $50 steak. You see? So if the value's there, people will pay for it. So sometimes people say, I'm not willing to pay $1 million for that product, but if you show them another product, they'll buy it because they value that one more. So it's not always that it's too low of a price. It's just that they might not see the value in what you're showing them. So sometimes people are like, I remember when I bought my Range Rover a couple of years ago, the guy showed me the entry-level model, right? It's entry-level on a Range Rover. First world problems. And I remember somebody saying to me, nobody buys the non-supercharged model. And I was like, so the guy showed it to me and I'm like, hey, what's up? My cousin's on. Everybody go follow my cousin, Niger Nikki. She's dope. So yeah. Oh, feel, felt, found is a great way to objection comers. That's right. So you got to feel it. You gotta find it. You gotta feel, felt, found around objection. So I'll give you guys a framework here in a second. Good morning, cuz. How you doing, sis? But the car wasn't that I didn't want the Range Rover. I didn't want the base model one. I wanted the supercharged one. That's the thing. So when he asked me, he's like, well, we got these other ones, like these smaller ones and this and that. I'm like, no, dude, I don't want that. I want the top of the line one. I want the Mac Daddy one. And he's like, oh, okay. And so you gotta learn what the person's actually saying, right? You got to feel, felt, found the solution. So whenever people repeat back to you, like, if somebody says, I got to talk to my spouse, like, I'm like, why do you need to talk to you? Does your spouse not know you're here? Of course they do. Of course they do. Like, if you're going to look at something, your spouse knows what you're doing. You got a doctor's appointment. You're going into the gym for a membership. You're going to buy a house. Like, now maybe the house, you got to get the spouse's opinion. Later, Xavier, but don't overcomplicate it. Most things you don't need the spouse decision on. It's just, they're not ready to purchase because you haven't answered all their questions. All right. So answer their questions. So when you get an objection from somebody, the first thing you do is just ask them, like, repeat it back to them. So it's like, hey, I got to talk to my spouse. Oh, great. I totally understand. You need to talk to your spouse. You notice the voice changes. You need to talk to your spouse. And they're going to tell you, like, well, blah, 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 blah. Oh, great. So is it that you really need to talk to your spouse, or you're not sure about X, Y, Z? And typically they're not sure about X, Y, and Z. All right. So when you're selling to people, be confident, practice, role play, script, be confident, know what you're going to say when they say these things so that you can bring it up in the beginning of the presentation. A great way to overcome the spousal objection is on the phone. If you get to pre-qualify them, say, is there anybody else that needs to be here while you make a decision? If they say no, say, great. So I'm going to put down that there's nobody else that needs to be here. So if you see the product or service or car or house that you like, you can purchase it today. Oh, well, no, not today. I got to talk to okay, well, make sure that they're there during the appointment. It's really hard to get somebody to say yes if they need both people there. And there are people that need to have that in their life. So if you need everybody at the appointment, then make sure that they're there. That's super important. So we got, you don't know what to say because you don't have a script. You don't have objections. You don't have the right product or service. The fourth thing is that when people reject you, or when people reject the sale, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting your product or service. Okay. They're not rejecting you as a human being. They'd probably go out and get coffee or a beer or a cocktail with you. They're just saying the product and service that you have, we don't want. Does that make sense? So if somebody's out there and they say no to you, remember, rejection isn't necessarily you as a human being. It's like, I just don't know about your product or service for me and my family, or for me and my business, or for me personally. So don't take things personally, right? It's not like you're walking, I take things back to dating, all right? Like, if I pitch somebody online about me and a date, like, hey, do you want to go out on a date? Let's go get coffee. And she says no because she saw my photos, or she saw something on Instagram, or, she has different, views in some department about the world than I do. She's not saying, no, you're a bad person. She's just saying, from the little bit of information I saw about you, I'm going to swipe left instead of right. I'm going to deny you instead of giving you love. But if she actually got to know me, right? If we actually were sitting down at a coffee shop or at a restaurant and having a deep intellectual conversation, she might have a different opinion. But people get a little snippet about you and your service and your product, and they're not necessarily rejecting you. They're rejecting your service and your product. Now, if you don't know what you're talking about and you're brand new, they might actually be rejecting the service and product because you're not educated enough to make the final commitment. So don't be scared to bring help in either, right? My buddy Sharon, if you guys don't follow Sharon, go follow Sharon on Instagram. He would go into his agent's listing appointments and do the listing presentation for his agents because he was just such an expert at it. He was such an expert at closing the deal and pitching it and saying things, and then they delivered the service. So he was in complete alignment and congruency. So it's okay to bring help in when needed. It's not okay to just do it on your own and keep hitting the wall. So if you're not making the sales you want, or if you don't love selling, ask yourself, am I selling the right product and service? Do I believe in it? Is it a good company? Do they provide the value that they say they're going to do? A lot of times they don't, and that's a problem for people. and you don't realize it, but internally you're having a moral battle every day. 2, do you know what to say every time for the product or service pitch, right? Do you have a script on how to build value, right? Do you have a script on how to add people don't buy features, they buy benefits. Okay, write that down. People don't buy features, they buy benefits. So the feature is like, yo, what's up, brother? The feature is like, it's a pen. The benefit is that I can write down that girl that I love's phone number, right? I can sign a contract with this pen. So the feature is that it's, got ink in it. The benefit is that I can use it to write notes that are going to change my life. All right. So people don't buy features, they buy benefits. So you give them the feature and then you tell them the benefit of the service or the product. So people don't know what to say, right? So if you don't know what to say, that's going to hurt your sales. That's why the first thing I do with my clients is I say, let's hear your script. What are you saying to people? And 90% of people don't have, telemarketer. Sorry about that. Telemarketer calling. 90% of people don't have a script. And so they say something different than their sales team. And that's why they miss business. So the first thing we do is it's like, yo, what's your script that you're saying? And if they don't have one, we get one. Third thing is you got to get your top 3 objections, right? What are your top 3 objections in life, right? What are they? Write them down and then figure out a way to say that in your pitch before you even get to the objection or to the set. Figure out to say that in your presentation, not in your pitch, so that they don't become objections. And then you're going to get 3 more and you're going to put that into your presentation. And everything you do is you want to take all the objections that people give you and you want to put them into your presentation so that they don't become objections at the end. But you got to know your objections. So the first one is product and service you love, know what to say, have objections. And then the fourth one is I forgot what the fourth one was. You're going to have to go back and watch it through the videos, but you gotta know those 3 things, right? If you know those 3 things, you will become a master salesperson and you will actually enjoy selling because you know that you're delivering. All right. So if you got questions on how to increase your sales, I love working with companies on increasing their sales. I love working with individuals, coaches, realtors, mortgage loan officers, right? Small business owners, solopreneurs. You don't have to be a professional, like big team. My buddy Joe, like I said, he's like, yo, dude, I took 7 courses during COVID because I wanted to level up in my life. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, there is an opportunity to learn. And so if you need to level up, right, your systems and your sales, send me a DM. Like, this is stuff that I love doing. And my clients go from being unconfident to super confident in a very short period of time. And that confidence carries over because you show up differently. All right. So make sure that if you don't have somebody you're working with, find somebody, right? Find somebody that you're in alignment with, that you can work on your scripts with, you can work on your sales pitches with, you can work on your presentations with, right? Make sure you're in the company that's got the services that you love, because if they're not that, then you got to go find a company or create a company that's in alignment with you so that you're really, really heart-centered when you show up to work. Like, you should want to show up and do what you do. Like, I love talking about sales because people are so scared about it. I love it, right? I don't like talking about the stock market. That shit gives me anxiety, but I love talking about sales because I know that all the services and all the products that I offer, I use personally. So anything that I tell my clients to do, I've done or I will do before I tell them to do it. So I'm always in alignment, right? So make sure you got those. I can't remember what the fourth thing was. It's killing me. Normally I have bullet points, right? I normally have a script of what I'm going to say, but today I just wanted to, just go free and just come from the heart and come from, source energy through me. But I forgot what it was. So anyways, y'all make sure you follow the people that I mentioned earlier. Make sure you guys follow the people that are here, that are watching. Like, these are people that are trying to grow in some aspect or the other. So make sure that you spread the love. And if there's somebody who needs to hear this, I'm actually going to post this on my story. I'm going to post it on Facebook as well. So if there's somebody in this world that needs to hear this, share it with them. And if you found value with it, do me a favor. I'm going to post this on my story right now. Do me a favor, save it, like, and comment on it so that the algorithm picks it up, right? Give me some social currency if you're not working with me, and help me out by saving this to your stories. because that's what Instagram's looking for. Instagram's looking for people who save things, and Instagram's looking for people who are sharing and commenting on the stuff. So do me some social currency. Other than that, much love. Drop me a line in the DMs about what kind of content you need in your life, and I can try to produce it. And if I can't produce it, I will DM you back and send you to one of my mentors or coaches or friends that can help you, because I'm not an expert in everything. All right, y'all, be safe, be badasses, be ballers, and thank you. Come again tomorrow.